after a 3-week break. Yes, 3, not 2. It's literally been 3 weeks since games were played. We are back with more LCS action, and much like 100 Thieves on their main social media account, they put us in the closet as well. But regardless, let's get into the pit. Real quick, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video down below and hit that subscribe button and leave a comment. Which player do you think is going to be standout for this week? Who do you think is going to come back with the most amount of training and just slap people around? It helps with the algorithm, and it's much appreciated on my part. Had this been prior to the break, before Dignitas kind of spoiled a little bit of the hype, a Team Liquid versus Dig matchup would have been really, really hype, but now, after what has transpired since, yeah, this takes a whole different optic. For Team Liquid, this is about continuing to establish dominance, and honestly, with how well they've been playing and how well they've been improving in every other aspect of the game as of late, yeah, they should be looking at having an undefeated regular season and trying to run the gauntlet. Like, that should be the end-all be-all goal to like really push yourself and challenge yourself throughout this summer split going into Worlds. You can drop a game here and there, that's ultimately fine, but you do want to see them keep growing. You want to see APA be able to handle Jensen fairly well. Yawn and Core JJ should be able to get the better of Isles and Sven. Top lane is one where we have seen Licorice get the better of Impact at times, so maybe. But Speak is my wild card here. Obviously, in an AP meta where you need to have solid laners, I think there's actually like a chance that like Dig can get some advantages in lane, or at least like a little bit of prio, but like TL's macro sense has always been good. So I'm curious to see like if in a world where Dignitas can get some leads and set up Spica to carry, maybe they can do it. For Dig, like your only goal of this entire series is to look better than 100 Thieves did against Team Liquid, which means just win a game. If they win a single game in this series, that's a success. And for Dig, that's a good building block. And yeah, you might be 1-3 after it, but hey, I don't think anybody's going to complain about being able to take a game off of TL. That's a good thing. Only C9 has done it, or FlyQuest? Yeah, only FlyQuest has done it so far. Speaking of FlyQuest, the other team that is coming back from the Esports World Cup, you do want to see how they kind of bounce back after obviously an extended trip over there. By extended trip, I mean 4 days, but they spent more time on the planes than they did playing games or probably scrimming. I'm like dead serious. They were on planes for 38 hours. I'm not sure if you can even scrim for that long of a period of time over the amount of days that they were stuck there. But I just want to see them build. What we saw against G2 was pretty damn good early on. Yes, Whippo definitely had some moments a little bit later, and it felt a little bit uncoordinated compared to like the top teams. But when you're facing somebody like Immortals, actually, I mean, if they perform at that level, they should be able to put them away, no? FlyQuest is considered by many to be a top 3 team in the league, and it's time to prove exactly that. If you are a top 3 team, you should be able to put away Immortals. And that's really the theme of this entire week, is you have a bunch of matches that are kind of upper echelon teams against lower echelon teams, which is good from, I guess, a sense of like establishing dominance, which actually leads to a more hype playoffs, especially when you have double elimination and it's down to 6. The top 4 teams can really all duke it out between each other. That's a lot of fun to watch, and you want to see that storyline build over the course of the regular season. However, if you have an entertaining regular season, it's a little bit more chaotic. Sometimes playoffs gets a little bit more cut and dry. Like, we know who's going to win, we know who's going to lose. I don't know. If FlyQuest is truly going to be a contender in some way that can help push Team Liquid and push Cloud9 to that next level and be that 3rd representative at Worlds, you want to see early signs of them building now and continuing to grow and not having the summer fall off that tends to plague a lot of different LCS teams over the past few years, where it just seems like we all kind of limp into playoffs rather than like actually look strong. But right now, for Immortals, show me a lifeline. Like, show me something. Like, give me anything to believe in your team at this point, because their only win so far is over Shopify Rebellion, and we'll get to them. But if they are apparently good in scrims, like, we got to start seeing it at some point, right? Like, it has to come out. We can't just keep making excuses the entire year for them losing series, losing games, and never being able to eventually hit that upper echelon, or at least even middle tier, to be able to make playoffs. This organization missing playoffs again would potentially be the worst possible way to drop out of the league, assuming that they're gone. Anero tweeted a gif of like trying to find a new job. You know, whether that actually is something or whether it's just him baiting on Twitter for the sake of baiting, who knows? But either way, I don't want to see Immortals miss playoffs again for like what, the 6th straight split. Then again, I guess if they're leaving, they might as well. I don't know. Predictions for the first 2 series, I think I'm just gonna go 2-0 both ways, FlyQuest and Team Liquid. Before we go on to Sunday, let's cover some LCS news. If you do not know, LCS Finals is going to be at the YouTube Theater in Los Angeles. Tickets are on sale right now. If you go to the LCS Twitter, it's right in their link tree. You can go and buy tickets. And I'll put a map up to kind of show what the seating arrangement looks like. And here's what we're dealing with right now in terms of tickets sold. 300 level, entirely available. 200 level, almost entirely available. And 100 level is going decent. Now, that was looking at all 2-day tickets. I don't even know if they're selling single-day tickets for this type of thing. I couldn't find it on Ticketmaster. Maybe I was looking wrong. But honestly, it's a little bit worrisome. I hope more tickets are able to be sold. Maybe the $88 price point truly is just too high, and we can't, people just aren't willing to pay that amount of money. Maybe it's LA. I don't know. But you would want to see tickets more sold than they are right now. You would want the overwhelming majority of tickets to be sold right away up front. That shows a ton of demand of people wanting to go. It's only a 7,000 seat capacity arena. It's not like it's all that much compared to what there's been historically. And right now we're struggling a little bit. It's not good to see. So again, if you want to go, if you are in the LA area or you have friends that are considering driving out, do it. Don't wait for a price drop. I'm sure if the prices drop, they will send some sort of refund to everybody that's already got a ticket to make it fair to them. So just buy it now. Don't second guess it. Just do it. Trust me. Speaking of venues, I do want to take a quick detour to Call of Duty Champs because there's a few things from this weekend and what's ongoing now that I think we can learn as LCS fans. First, this is the first time ever in the history of Call of Duty that they're having a full 360 event stadium setup. Looks insane, doesn't it? Now, granted, it's only one level because they're holding it in Texas, which is basically a home event for Optic. The turnout so far, I'm recording this on Thursday, it's half filled already, and it's a weekday when people are working. The weekend is going to be absolutely nuts. It's going to be sold out. It's going to be amazing. But it's less seats than what we have for LCS Finals. But yet this is the look because you're able to put people on the floor and there's seats on the sides as well. I've been critical in the past of 360 setups, but it's because we continue to host them at NFL, NBA, NHL stadiums where it's 20,000 capacity, and then you're blocking off the upper levels, so the sound gets up and gets lost in the rafters. Whereas this venue in particular, it's a low ceiling. It's only one floor, so sound bounces off the walls and bounces off of everybody, and it gets loud in there already, and we're only early on into the tournament, and again, only half filled. I'm loving everything that I'm seeing from COD Champs this year. It is a very well run event so far. Everything looks amazing. The co-streaming setups are great. Hope we take note of that. Speaking of which, one other note from it. All-Pro is a thing in other games, obviously, in the same way that it is for the LCS. I'm blessed to be able to vote for it, and we'll talk about MVP and All-Pro voting starting next week as we get past the halfway point of the season. But one of the cool things that Call of Duty did was at Champs, they brought every single player that got first, second, or third All-Pro on stage to give them their recognition, as well as give them a personal bomber jacket, which it's Call of Duty. Yeah, obviously that type of thing makes a little bit of sense, but it made me realize we don't give anything to anybody that gets All-Pro in the LCS. Even if you just change All-Pro to be a year-long thing, especially next year since we're gonna have 3 splits, I think that might be a good way to do it. You can have split All-Pros, sure, but the year-long one, give some sort of award, have everybody at finals, make sure that all the players that got the award are out at the event. Call of Duty is obviously a little bit different because more teams show up than just the 3 that make the event, but I think it would be a really good celebration of the year's entire length of League of Legends. I think it'd be great. And the bomber jacket's really cool, regardless of whether they wear it out in public or not. I don't know, stuff like that I really find interesting, and I personally put a lot of value in. And the final thing is we begin to talk about Sunday for the LCS. We are having a watch party here in New York City, but we are not the only one that is doing it. Across the US, there are going to be watch parties all over where you can get free Riot swag. Riot has notified us. They sent us a form that you can fill out if you're at these events to potentially get free RP, so you can buy skins for just going to these events. All that we ask is you come in, you buy a drink, you buy some food from the venue, just to make sure we're contributing back to them as a thank you for them hosting us. But yeah, go to one of your local watch parties. I actually know some of the people that run the Chicago one at Ignite Gaming, or were with Ignite Gaming at least back in 2022. Great people, great setup from what I've been told. So be sure to go out. If you're from Chicago, New York, whatever. If you're in New York, come up, get a picture with me. Let me know. Happy to do whatever. The first match of Sunday for me is exciting. It's 100 Thieves Cloud9. Can't say that everybody else is going to be excited, given that it's likely going to be a 2-0 blowout in most people's eyes. Like, for the most part, I don't think people are going to see 100 Thieves is really putting up a fight. And hey, maybe they will. Maybe they could, but yeah, they are underdogs. For 100 Thieves, you want to see each individual player improve in lane. Like, bot lane can't be behind. Top lane with Sniper, he can't keep going behind in every matchup. Quid's been doing decent. Obviously not MVP form that he was last split, but he's getting there. But if you want to have River on these AP jungles, you need winning lanes. So yeah, I want to see them be a little bit more dominant in lane, and then also still clean up the macro, which continues to plague them in the mid to late games where they just aren't together for whatever reason. I don't know. Hopefully they figure it out. We will see. For Cloud9, this kills me to say as a 100 Thieves fan, but just crush them. Like, legitimately crush them. Bury them so far in the ground that they just, like, are lost and have no hope. Because if you want to establish yourself as a team that is going to compete against Team Liquid, you need to do the same thing that Team Liquid did to 100 Thieves a few weeks ago. Bury them in the ground 6 feet under. You do that, you start to build confidence. It can be a little bit bloody, it can be a little bit murky at times, that's fine, but like, don't leave any shred of a doubt that you are the better team walking out of this. Although I will say, for my 100 Thieves fans that want a little bit of hope, last time the Cloud9 was undefeated and looking good in summer, 2020. Guess who was the team that ended up beating them when they were on like that insane win streak? 100 Thieves. Cloud9 will go on to miss Worlds that year. Maybe history will repeat itself. And the final matchup of the weekend is actually a bottom of the standings matchup, but is my favorite one that I cannot wait to watch, which is NRG versus Shopify Rebellion. Both teams sitting not so good in the standings. Shopify yet to win a single series. NRG winning I forget who they played week 3, but they won 1. And honestly, my eyes go straight to the top lane for this entire series. I think both of these players, both Dokla and FakeGod, are literally playing for their LCS lives. They are playing for a chance to make sure that they can still compete in the league next year, because both of them are at risk of getting dropped. Both of them are not looking good so far in the LCS this summer. For NRG as a whole, you're looking to see if they can finally get that synergy that they used to have last summer. Maybe they can go on a run, because they started off slow last summer, went on to win the entire thing. Sure, maybe it was a little bit fluky, and I think like this week will be the telltale sign. If you can't put Shopify down easily, like with a 2-0, honestly, like you're not going to stand a chance against anybody else that's higher up in the standings. Worlds will be out of the picture. So this is going to be a true test for them to see if they have what it takes to make a run in summer and maybe put all the pieces together and rekindle that magic and rekindle the faith that people had in them. And for Shopify, Boogie is back. Tomio is benched. They said it's better for a few reasons. Don't know if I fully believe it. We will see. But a loss here, in my opinion at least, like really kind of means that they're done. Yes, they still have matchups left with Dignitas, who I think is notably better than most of the other middle ground competition, against 100 Thieves in the final week. But at the end of the day, it could be those two slugging it out for 7th and 8th place if all things go bad. So like, you have to pick up this win here. You have to get at least one on the board to make up some of the ground that you have with 100 Thieves and with Dignitas and actually the opponent that's against them in NRG, because assuming you lose here, then NRG jumps up to 2 wins. I'm assuming Dignitas might lose to FlyQuest, so there might only be 1 game there, but you're running out of time. There's only 4 series left. You don't have a lot to work with. You need a 25% win rate in series from here on out to at least get 1 win to get you to a tie. So, ugh. But honestly, I'm so happy that the LCS is back this weekend. I cannot wait to see the matches. I cannot wait to be at OSNYC with all of you New York City League of Legends fans on Sunday, giving out stuff. I'm going to be a little bit late because I have to teach golf lessons beforehand, but it should be fun. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you on next week's episode of The Pit.